how many people actually live with their in-laws? That would be so much pressure, so much stress. I mean, I can throw out the number 713-390-KRBE.
People do that because they have to these days. So they're maybe taking care of their in-laws.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But
they're not living with them for fun.
No.
Hey, I'm going to move in there for fun. No, you either need help paying bills.
I could only imagine.
You need to help them physically because they're not doing
like how much stress that would put on your marriage, having to live with your mother-in-law or father-in-law or, that'd just be...
It's easier
it just
your own
depends
parents.
on what your background is.
Like Rula could do it with her parents.
Yeah, with your parents. You think
you could live with Tassos' family?
Parents?
I mean,
I feel like
nothing against them. It's not.
No, but you don't have the connection that you have with your own parents.
Look,
It's totally
his
different.
family is not from here. His family's not from here, so they've stayed with us for up to probably 2 months before. And I feel like it's the same. You know, the thing that Taz and I talk about when his parents stay over, because his dad's real handy. He helps us do a lot of stuff around the house. Is there was this thing on Instagram I just saw yesterday. It says, every dad or father-in-law when the maintenance guy comes over, and it was like a diver underwater trying to hit something that was rusted, and this fish with these giant eyes kept coming in his face. Kevin, you're laughing. Have you seen it? And he's giving it his way.
I can imagine it.
Relate to it?
Yes. I had an appliance guy come to fix my dryer when my father-in-law was here, and I told my husband before he got here, I go, listen, you know, your dad's like always up in there asking, what are you doing over there? You going to use the 3x4 or the 4x4? Like whatever the hell the question is. And I told my father-in-law, I said, you know what? When this guy comes over, he has like people anxiety, because of COVID and stuff. So can you just not go in that room?
Rula, that happened with my dad as well. Rula, sent me your cabinet guy.
Yeah.
And he was installing the cabinets in my other house. And sure enough, my dad is there like, well, all right, if you thought about using a 4 to live it up. Dad, let him do his job.
Yep.
We could do a whole topic on people that like do that cabinet work or whatever. They work in a place and they have people behind them telling them how to do their job.
How do you shoo them away? How do you shoo them away? Now, Kevin, listen, you and Booster do a lot of your own stuff. So I feel like the tide's going to turn, and at one point, you're going to be your dad. Maybe if you're not already your dad,
he's
you're
already
like
incorporating his dad into his characters. I mean,
I'm saying he's going to be up on those guys. The cabinet guys installing, and Kevin's doing it now.
He does that to Sam
does
already and his friends. Like, God forbid anyone go over there and
Kev has his hand behind his back. You know how the dads do the stand?
Yeah.
They're just overlooking. He's like, yep.
You hear the hands on the hips?
Yeah.
You're like the condescending IT guy.
No, because the condescending IT guy does not want to be around you. The condescending IT guy does not want to be called to your desk. He's annoyed he has to be there. In this case, it's like, hey, you going to use the ankle switch or the dummy wrench? I don't know.
Have you thought about perhaps doing it this way?
Oh, my God. Okay, after meeting your dad and spending time with him at your wedding, I now know where you're getting some of your characters from.
Oh, Vic's a sweet man.
You talk about in-laws.
Oh, I love Vic.
Like, my in-laws are awesome. Because when I go to their place in Galveston, and we're all together.
Right.
And I think it's all about, are they...
Free babysitting?
How do they act? Are they those type of people like Kevin was saying, where they're nosy and they want to get into all your business?
In your business, yeah.
Or they're just cool and just want to hang out?
I feel like I would like to say the majority of people are having a decent time finding their way if their in-law or their parent had to live with them.
Not being judged.
West is on the line at 713-390-KRBE and had a good experience with it. Hi, West. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show.
Good morning. Love you guys.
Well, thank you so
Hey.
much. So you had to live with an in-law?
No, my mother-in-law lives with me now.
Oh, okay.
My father-in-law passed, and she came to stay with me and my wife. My wife passed, and my mother-in-law is there, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Hey, man, she's a beautiful person. Her and the little chihuahua, everybody gets along fine.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
gosh.
I mean, that's really difficult. So, just
How long ago did your
difficult
wife
is
pass
that?
away, Wes? How long ago did your wife pass away?
Last year, January.
Oh, God, I'm
so
sorry.
sorry. And how long
Oh,
had
it's
your
okay.
mother-in-law been living there before your wife passed?
1 year.
Okay.
So obviously it wasn't a
Okay.
question to be like, well,
Do you guys give each other comfort, like because you can tell stories about her, and it's got to feel good to have
Keep her
someone
memory
there.
alive.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it feels good. And hey, I was the first person to win the Ed Sheeran concert tickets back in October, and me and my mother-in-law enjoyed that concert.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
That is fun.
Yeah.
When you're
So,
hanging out
hey,
when you're hanging out with your mother-in-law, does she kind of make you feel close to your wife still?
I feel close to her anyway. She's a whole different character. She's funny, but hey, after dinner, she's ready to go to bed. So the nights don't get too long.
I'm checking out.
She's checking out.
I'm glad that you
Now,
have that
West, is
comfort.
your mom still alive, West? Is your mom still in your life?
Both of my parents live right around the corner from me and Katie.
Oh, good
All right.
for you.
Do they have a little camaraderie, or is it like, I don't know?
But did you guys have kids? Did you have?
Yes, together my wife and I have 11 children and 23 grandchildren.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap!
And-
I'm sorry.
and-
Can you
and-
repeat that number?
11 kids.
Wow.
We didn't have cable,
That's what I was thinking. You didn't have cable. That's what I was thinking. You didn't have TV, did you?
How old? Oh my gosh, West! How old is your youngest of your 11 kids? How old is the youngest child?
He just turned 18 and graduated from Martin Ranch High School, and
Oh,
he
congrats.
can't wait to leave home. I tell him, just make your bed up before you go. You'll be back.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Thanks so much
Wow,
for
great
calling.
day,
really
Wes.
something
Sweet.
else.
Take-
Thank you so much for listening, Wes. You have a great day.
Line
That's really
two.
a
Line
unique
two.
living situation. Ariel's up next. 713-390-KRBE. Hello, Ariel.
Hi, how are
Ariel.
you?
Hey, we're great. So, do you live with an in-law?
No, so my husband chose to live with my parents.
What?
Wow.
yeah,
what's that?
he actually took us out to dinner one night. We were already pre-approved, going through the process, looking for our own home. And I'm an only child. He was like, I think just be better because he traveled a lot for work, and took us out to dinner and said, I think we should just buy a house together. And I looked at him like he was absolutely crazy. But we did the process, and in 2019, we bought a house together.
And how's it going?
Is it a
How's
fairly
it
large
going?
house?
It's
for y'all to have
amazing,
lots of space?
actually.
It's amazing.
Okay.
So you get to live with mom and dad and your husband.
Yeah, I have two children. They're 7 and 11, and their papa is their world, and so is their Gigi. But I have younger parents, so I think that's kind of why it's so amazing.
Well, can I ask you, what
my-
are the ages of your parents?
Yeah, so my mom turns 50 next week,
Mm-hmm.
and my father will be 52
Okay.
this coming year. Yeah.
And
so-
do they have their own
Wing of the house?
Yeah.
mother-in-law suite
In-law
or
suite?
or a guest house?
Or more than
Yeah,
that because they
so
bought it
our
together.
builder, our builder is common for those mother-in-law suites. Village builders, they do that. That's kind of why we looked at it. However, a person actually custom built our house and backed out last minute. So we have two masters on the lower, on opposite
Oh, nice.
sides of the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Wow, that's really
So
great.
we kind of lucked out because they backed out of it, and it was a perfect opportunity for us.
So two
That's really
primary
great. That's
suites.
super unique. I think I
Wow.
would say that not every time we have somebody call our show and they wonder if they're the only ones. I think you might be the only one that
I am,
that
I
chose
know.
to go in with the in-laws to purchase the home,
Yeah, 'cause I've heard of-
versus it just kind of landed that way.
I've heard of families buying houses like to get across from each other,
Near each
Yeah,
other,
close
yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
next to each other, but not together.
And you guys never
Yeah.
get on each other's nerves. They don't ever do you have kids?
Yeah, she has two.
She has
two-
two
two
kids.
kids. 7
You,
and
you
11.
said 2 kids, 7-11. Do they ever
Yes.
say or do something like, oh, no, that's not how I want to raise my child?
No, I mean, okay, so they spoil my children absolutely to death, but that's the only thing that, there'll be times we'll be like, no, I don't want them to do that. And my dad, he'll be like, well, and I'm like, okay, Dad, it's fine.
Do you guys
Like,
do you guys do vacations together, or is that when you you and your husband and your kids go somewhere to like Destin, Florida together, or do you take everyone with you?
My father is an introvert, so he does not do much going out. My mom's a social butterfly. She
Okay.
kind of does her own thing, flies by her own song. She's just a very outgoing person. So I think that's why it all works out because we're just kind of always doing our own thing.
Okay.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Well, that's
do
quite
that.
the story, Ariel. I mean, y'all chose to live together and purchase a house designed to fit both of your families.
You're
That's
saving
really
money
unique.
too. If you're both,
No kidding.
Each buying a house, you're splitting
Right.
it.
Yep.
No one's going to fight over your mom and dad's house when that day comes because you're living in it.
Oh yeah, how's that
Oh,
work?
that's true.
Does she have siblings? Did she say?
No, she's an only child.
Only
Only
child?
child,
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
only way it could probably work then.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially because her husband travels. That's really cool. 713-278-VENT is the number if you guys want to leave us a comment about living with your in-laws or funny things your parents do or in-laws do when it comes to hovering over the service people that come into your house. Coming up next, Lizzo has spoken out about the allegations, and Tina Knowles is saying something about last night's Boston show where Beyonce left Lizzo's name off the list during Break My Soul.
Hey, real quick, before you go to break, I just want to wish my wife a happy birthday because I know she's driving right now, and this is the only chance I have to say it.
Aw.
I love you, honey. Happy birthday. Can't wait to celebrate all day with you.
Confess your love.
Yes, tell us what is it about
Tell
your
her
wife that makes her
what
so
makes
special.
We don't
you
have enough
love
time.
her
I could go on all
It's a
night.
short
You
distance
got
dedication.
60 seconds. Go ahead.
Go, Eric.
60 seconds, now you put me on the spot. I just love how you, Nagy, love our family. You are the most loyal person I ever met in my whole life. You always have my back. You have the kids' family's back. Your family's amazing. And you just make me want to get up every day. You guys always ask, how come you don't drink coffee, Eric? Because I am living a dream every day. I grew up poor. I grew up so just life sucks. And the last 20 years has been amazing. And it's all because of that one woman. Oh, it's all because you. Love you, Nagy. Happy birthday. Can't wait to give you your birthday spankings. I mean,
Now pinch yourself. I
Spankings.
can't believe you're married to her. Birthday spanking.
Eric.
That's a little too inside.
Yeah,
All right.
You were going, you were doing so well there. It was so beautiful, and then you had to go kinky.
sorry. Habit.
Happy birthday, Nagy Jew. We love you.
Happy
Love you.
birthday.
All right. Tabalo, tabalo. You're going to sing that song later. All right. Happy birthday to Eric's wife, Nagy. And coming up next, Lizzo in all the details. What she's saying, what the backup dancers are saying, what Beyonce's mom is saying about what happened last night in Boston. In case you missed it, we're going to recap it next in Scoop on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Movies, music, TV, and all things Hollywood
Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
on KRBE.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have an update to yesterday's bombshell of the lawsuit that has been, launched against Lizzo from 3 of her dancers, other dancers who are backing up those 3 dancers, even though they are not officially part of the lawsuit, and a woman who said that she backed out of doing a documentary on Lizzo after seeing how she was behind the scenes. She decided to drop the documentary. Her name was Sophia Nolly Allison, said that she was treated with disrespect, and she had a negative working experience with Lizzo back in 2019 when she traveled with Lizzo to be the director of that documentary. She walked away after about 2 weeks because I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, unkind she is. Now, everything seems like a pile-on right now because of this story that happened yesterday of really things you can't ignore type allegations of what these dancers say they went through being with Lizzo. Lizzo, as of this morning, posted on her social media that she can't ignore what's happening. She tries to ignore stuff that sounds outlandish, but this stuff is the last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing, she said. My worth ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. And she says, I don't typically address false allegations, but these are unbelievable as they sound too outrageous not to be addressed. She says that, let's see, it was a bunch of screenshots on her social media.
I'm sure
of how
she's
she
being
posted
advised by her lawyer what she can and cannot say at this point.
Yeah, she said that the sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. But that's the very thing they're accusing her of.
Hold up, but the documentarian who stepped away on her own accord is not suing, has
Interest,
interest in
Maybe
the
it's
deal.
gonna hurt
Dog
her
in this
career.
fight.
Dog
yeah.
in the fight. So that's
Right.
what kind of makes me think,
Well, the
how
thing
many
is,
people need to come out and say this before it is true?
that's how it. Anytime there's a scandal, people come out of the woodworks because nobody wants to be the first.
Right.
It's very scary to take on a powerful, famous figure.
Well,
And
the
it's-
first 3 are Crystal Williams, Ariana Davis, and Noel Rodriguez. 2 of them were fired. 1 quit in solidarity with the 2 that were fired. And I think we have to just keep on waiting for all the details of how is Lizzo going to defend that? Because for Lizzo to say they were dismissed for their behavior, Like I said, that's the very thing they're going after Lizzo for her behavior. In the first scoop of the day here on the Roula and Ryan show, I was talking about how last night Beyonce's Boston show, when she does Break My Soul, she usually lists a lot of, powerful black female names, and she left Lizzo's off the list yesterday and repeated Erykah Badu twice. And Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, is saying, you guys need to stop. It wasn't that deep. She said, she also didn't say her own sister's name. And y'all should really stop saying everyone's reading.
Looking for something where there is.
I wouldn't say Solange either.
Oh, Kevin.
I know. I hope she's listening now.
You've had a beef with her for years.
Good Lord. I'm going to bring her for the mystery box. I'm going to put her in the box, and then she'll go, wow.
Scratch me.
You come out and just scratch your eyes out, Kevin.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to come of this. It doesn't look good for Lizzo. Obviously, she has to get her team together to figure out because look, they filed a civil suit. This is not going to end tomorrow. And if other people, now we have 4 that are not involved in the civil suit that are backing. I can see that. I was witnessing some of that. I can see why they're doing that.
Maybe they'll be called as witnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if they are wrong? They lose, or they're just spiteful and they're doing this to her. I mean, she'll never get her money back. Like, Her
well, I'm
reputation.
sure that's going to be their defense.
She's going to lose a bunch of stuff. She's going to get screwed over here
because everybody's quick to cancel.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, people are already saying that the night before last, when this broke over, like later in the day before our show came back on. Oh, how quick is Lizzo going to get canceled? I mean, this is a really she's at the top of the game right now. She won all the things. She has an Emmy for her Amazon show. She's got Grammys. She's got all these. She's the one that's supposed to be speaking for the power of positivity and your image and all the things. And here she is being hit for the very exact message she's giving.
We don't know.
I think that's what we find, like that, the Ellens of the world. You think these people are so positive, and then you find out the real. I mean, like hearing Mr. Rogers my whole life when I grew up, and you find out he's not that type of person,
but
he always was.
He was. I watched the documentary, and
but if you found out
he really
was mean to Mr. Hooper or whatever all those people are.
That's Sesame Street.
I don't know. Whatever.
You're mixing it up.
Oh, like crap! I watched as a kid.
He went over to Sesame Street and bullied them.
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers, actually, I watched that documentary.
If he did something stupid, he'd be like, "What?
Yeah.
That guy was a jerk."
He was actually really nice all the way to the end.
Sweater. That's the only reason why I know of him.
Won't you be my neighbor?
That creepy voice.
Won't you be my neighbor?
No,
so anyway, we'll see.
Guy.
Lizzo says she is not the villain. To be continued with this to see what exactly happens. There's a whole article actually that was it Vulture did it?
Variety did
Somebody did
probably.
it about Variety, but also is like why these Lizzo allegations are a big deal. And then they did this whole paragraph about when some celebrity is embroiled in controversy, people who already didn't like the celebrity are the first ones to come out and just pile on and be so horrible. And if you read the comments, guys, in some of the stories, because there's a lot of stories online, just repeating this story, just trying to give the facts from their publication.
Right.
The comments are so brutal because if you already didn't like Lizzo, if you already don't like that she's an overweight person who likes to be body positive, these people are tearing her down in such a way that I was thinking, God, of all the things that she talks about when she was a kid.
Well, they're looking at the irony of the situation.
Weight shamed her.
The fact
they're
is,
just weight shaming her way worse than she's ever been weight shamed, which is uncalled for, but it's the same thing with any celebrity embroiled in controversy. It's the low-lying fruit, it's the easy grab, it's the quick punch.
But I think what they're seeing is the irony of the situation is that she celebrates being big and beautiful, and yet these people are claiming, hey, she told us we're getting too fat.
What they did in Amsterdam, all I know is if your mate says they're going on vacation by themselves to Amsterdam, you better put them on roses.
Oh, yeah.
You say you're going to Thailand and
what?
Amsterdam
is by yourself with the
weed
boys?
and prostitute capital of the world.
Yeah. Stuff I read, I was like, what? They do that there?
Disturbing.
Well, I didn't even know that.
In Thailand,
was a
that's
thing
really scary.
Until I read the story about
Amsterdam
the
thing
red
was-
light district of
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Knew that
Oh,
part.
Lordy Lou. Hey, I gotta be that wrong.
Time for the Roula and Ryan Show on KRBE to tell you what's going down in H-Town.
It's brought to you by Duncan. Speaking of Duncan, you've just got a couple more days. 2 more days, okay? They're doing this great fundraiser. It's called Shine Gold, where Houston area Duncan locations are inviting guests to contribute $2. You get a free Gold Joy donut, and then 100% of those proceeds go to the Periwinkle Foundation right here in Houston for kids that are battling cancer. So it ends on the 5th. So we got 2 more days. Any Houston area Duncan location, get that Shine Gold donut. and it goes to a great cause. There is a heat advisory today. Heat index is going to feel like it's 108. And, we talked yesterday in the news about how there's a teacher shortage for HISD. We're also having a problem with bus drivers. So the Houston Independent School District is looking for bus drivers right now, and they're offering a bonus to get them to sign on. HISD will pay a $3,000 sign-on bonus to the first 50 commercial driver's licensed drivers for this upcoming year. They're also looking for 80 non-CDL drivers, and they'll pay them $1,500 to sign on as a bonus. They're also rewarding perfect attendance, paying $500 for each month a driver does not miss a day of work. So if you'd like to find out more, it's a long URL website. So I know khou.com. It's on their first page. They've got the story and a link to that if you want to
And please
apply.
don't sign up for that job if you don't like children. Because the bus driver that my kids have love her to bits and pieces, and she loves every one of those kids. But kids get loud and they get rambunctious, and it's hard to drive that bus. Please don't sign up for that job if you don't like kids.
Oh, man. We tortured
Giving you a
our bus
PSA.
driver.
It's not an easy job. That's
No,
for sure.
not at all. That's
No.
what's going down in H-Town. Up next, it's time for Food Wars.
What's the most overrated food in your opinion? People are like, "Oh my God, who doesn't love queso?"
I'll start. A most overrated food is filet. The steak.
Mignon?
Filet mignon?
Yep, it's overrated. It's
Not
expensive.
filet o fish.
And the taste, and I get it, and I admit I buy it, and I eat it, but you should get a ribeye or a New York strip or something with more flavor.
Well, then why don't you? Why are you buying fillets if you're saying
It's
it's
supposed to be
overrated?
healthier for you. It's overrated. I fall for the trap what people do.
Lean.
Yeah, it's lean.
All right. What's the most overrated food in your opinion? You can
Flavor.
text us at 37530 or you can call us at 713-390-KRBE. That's 5723 on your phone. I'm throwing pickles in there, Sam. Just kidding.
Oh, it's on now. Food Wars.
Pickles. You shut your mouth.
Pickles.
Food fights.
We'll talk about it next on the Roula.